Good morning, students. Welcome to our subject, Disciplines and Ideas in the Social Sciences, Quarter 2, Week 3. Today we have a new lesson, but before that, allow me to introduce myself. Again, this is Rafi G. Aguilar, your teacher. Before we begin, of course, don't forget to visit our official website at guidef.sims.school/LCMS. I repeat, guidef.sims.school/LCMS. Visit the learning path, download the modules that I have uploaded there, as well as the quizzes and the activities. If you have questions, clarifications, don't forget to send your questions through Messenger at my account. So today we have a new lesson. So what do you think is our lesson for this morning? Okay, shall we begin now? Okay, great. Now let's start. For this morning, our topic is all about 19th century Filipino thinkers and their ideas of social theory and socialism. So do you have any idea about this? Who are the 19th century Filipino thinkers? And what are their ideas of social theory and socialism? So if you don't have questions, now let's begin. So before we begin, of course, I've also prepared our objectives for this morning. This will be our guides for today's discussion. These objectives may serve as our goal or our learning targets at the end of this discussion. So we should give answers, or we should give we will be able to obtain those objectives. So the following are the objectives for today's discussion. So first, discuss the key concepts and ideas in the social sciences rooted in Filipino language or experiences. So we are going to discuss the key concepts. What are the key concepts and ideas of the social sciences rooted in Filipino language or experiences? Second, identify the historical trends of Philippine psychological thought. So we are going to identify historical trends of Philippine psychological thoughts. And last but not the least, examine carefully the significance of the different key concepts or ideas influenced by Jose Rizal, Isabelo de los Reyes, and other Filipino thinkers from 19th to 20th centuries to support disadvantaged or unrepresented groups. Again, this will be our guide for today's discussion. So we will give answers at the end of this discussions. We are going to obtain these objectives. So questions? If none, then let's proceed. 19th century Filipino thinkers and their ideas of social theory and socialism. So do you have any idea about this lesson? Do you have background knowledge about this? None? So as what mentioned on our objectives earlier, that was given earlier, it was mentioned that Jose Rizal and Isabelo de los Reyes are one of the Filipino thinkers during 19th century. So we know about Jose Rizal and of course Isabelo de los Reyes, but we give on emphasis about the life of Jose Rizal, since Dr. Jose Rizal is considered as our national hero here in the Philippines, right? So let's know more about Jose Rizal and Isabelo de los Reyes. But first, of course, Orientalism. What is Orientalism? So our Orientalism, according to Syed Fasid Alatas, influenced the content of education, that the origin of social sciences and the question of alternative points are unmodified. Unmodified means it doesn't change. It does not it does not change. Meaning it's true, or it's not edited, something like that. This lack of thematization made the thought style of our Filipino thinkers not getting attention compared to European and American social theories such as Max Weber, Durkheim, and others. So who are the European and American social theories as mentioned a while ago? So such as Max Weber, Durkheim, and others. Okay. Jose Protasio Rizal Mercado y Alonso Rialonda, so that was his full name. Jose Protasio Rizal Mercado y Alonso Rialonda. He was born on June 19, 1861 and died on December 30, 1896. He was a Filipino nationalist and a polymath during the tail end of the Spanish colonial period of the Philippines. He is tagged as the national hero o pambansang bayani of the Filipino people. An ophthalmologist by profession, Rizal became a writer and a key member of the Filipino propaganda movement, which advocated political reforms for the colony under Spain. The social sciences are taught in Third World in Eurocentric manner. So, Eurocentric manner from the point of view of the Europeans to Asians, meaning it derives from the point of view of Europeans to Asians. That's why it's called as Eurocentric manner. This resulted in the alienation of social scientists from local and regional scholarly traditions. We should note that during the 19th century, the impression given during the period that Europeans such as Max Weber, Durkheim, and others were thinking about the nature of society and its development. There were no thinkers in Asia doing the same. The absence of non-European thinkers in these accounts influenced the development of social thought. Leaders of the reform movement in Spain, left to right, Rizal, Del Pilar, and Ponce. So circa 1890. So they are the leaders of the reform movement in Spain. So who are they? So on the left side, Rizal. On the middle, yes, between Rizal is Del Pilar, and beside Del Pilar is Ponce. This history of social thought, or a course on social thought and theory, would cover theories such as Montesquieu, Vico Comte, Spencer Max Weber, Durkheim, Simmel, Tonis, Sombart, Mahem, Pareto, Summer, Ward, Small, and others. Non-Western thinkers are excluded. It is necessary to make a distinction between Orientalism as the obtrusive, stereotypical portrayal of the Orient and the New Orientalism of today, which is characterized by the neglect and silencing of non-Western thoughts. What is meant by the silencing or marginalization of non-Western thinkers? It is when all non-Europeans appear in the text and courses, they are the objects of study and not the subjects who were the sources of sociological theories and ideas. Alatas concentrated on the work of Jose Rizal and Ibn Khaldun. In his work, he said that Jose Rizal, 1861 to 1896, was the Filipino thinker and activist and probably the first systematic social thinker in Southeast Asia. He raised original problems and creatively treated them. He lived during the formative period of sociology, but the theories about the nature of society in ways not done by Western sociologists. He gave us different perspective on the colonial dimension of the emerging modernity of the 19th century. He published his first novel, Noli Me Tangere, in 1887. It was a reflection of exploitative conditions under Spanish colonial rule and enraged the Spanish friars. It was a diagnosis of the problems of Filipino society and a reflection of the problems of exploitation in Filipino colonial society. His second novel, El Filibusterismo, published in 1891, examined the possibilities and consequences of revolution. Sociological theory from Rizal's work can be discerned in his writings. First, the theory of colonial society that explains the nature and conditions of colonial society. Second, Rizal's critique on colonial knowledge of the Philippines. And third, finally, his discourse on the meaning of and requirements for emancipation. In Rizal's thought, the corrupt Spanish colonial government and its officials oppress and exploit the Filipinos while blaming the backwardness of the Filipinos on their alleged laziness. Isabelo de los Reyes. So, do you know about Isabelo de los Reyes? Okay, so Isabelo de los Reyes, he is a prominent Filipino politician. Prominent meaning he is famous or he is known for being a politician, a writer, and labor activist in the 19th and 20th centuries. He was the original founder of the Iglesia Filipina Independiente, an independent Philippine national church. He is now known as the father of Philippine folklore, the father of the Philippine labor movement, and the father of Filipino socialism. So he is known as the father of Philippine folklore, the father of Philippine labor movement, and the father of Filipino socialism. So that is Isabelo de los Reyes. So now let's find more about Isabelo de los Reyes. But his project was to show that in fact the Filipinos were a relatively advanced society in pre-colonial times and that their backwardness was a product of colonialism. Isabelo de los Reyes y Florentino, his full name, Don Belong, was born on July 7, 1864 and died on the year October 10, 1938. He was a prominent Filipino politician, writer, and labor activist in the 19th and 20th centuries. So what his full name? Isabelo de los Reyes y Florentino, also known as Don Belong. He was the founder of Iglesia Filipina Independiente, an independent Philippine national church. He is known as the father of Philippine folklore, father of the Philippine labor movement, and the father of the Filipino socialism. He followed his mother's footsteps by initially turning to write as a career. His works were part of the 1887 Exposición General de las Filipinas in Madrid. He later became a journalist, editor, and publisher in Manila and was imprisoned in 1897 for revolutionary activities. He was deported to Spain where he was jailed for his activities. He had his first brush with socialism during his stay in Barcelona, where he mingled and was influenced by the writings of European socialists and Marxists. He was acquainted with anarchists, syndicalists, and other extremist and ideological thinkers. He was released in 1898 and was banned from leaving Spain and became a drifter in Barcelona. During this time, he came to know radicals such as Francisco Ferrer, Alejandro Relox, and others. On his return to the Philippines, he became the leader of the Nacionalista Party. He took with his works by socialists such as Karl Marx, Proudhon, Bakunin, and Enrico Malatesta. He was the first president of Union Obrera Democrática, formed on February 2, 1902, wherein they aimed to achieve the longed-for alliance between capital and labor. He represented workers in various disputes, supervised educational discussions, and led the country's May 1 protest celebration, an annual tradition that is held today. His patriotism fed into his desire for unionism. Only through the unity of workers could they can defeat the imperialists. Throughout his life, he wrote and published multiple newspapers and works in various subjects such as history, folklore, religion, and politics. So that would be all. Students, thank you for having your time with me. So I will be able to upload this video on YouTube, our YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, and of course, to share. And before I end this conversation with you, class, please visit our official website, answer the activities and quizzes I have uploaded there. So thank you and God bless everyone. Stay safe. Bye.